Taehyung finally speaks up. Amid the rumble of accusations and hot rumors about a scandal at a Paris airport, a Weverse live broadcast shocked everyone. But it's not just Taehyung's clarification that's surprising. Jungkook's personal message to the army broke thousands of hearts instantly. What exactly happened? Is this the end of the long-awaited duet? Why did Jungkook suddenly disappear after the decision was overturned? What's behind Taehyung's seemingly wounded words? No one expected that a day started with a sweet smile at the airport could turn into a huge storm that shook millions of hearts. No one could have guessed that in just 24 hours, two of the biggest names in K-pop history, Kim Taehyung and Jungkook, would be at the center of a chest-pounding emotional storm. But even more surprising is the simple sentence Taehyung said in a live broadcast of Weverse in Paris. "I can't be quiet anymore." And the world froze. How is it that two friends who are known so intimately, two icons who have written history together on the great stages of the world, suddenly turn into the center of speculation and grief? What really happened behind the Paris airport scandal that suddenly became a global hot topic? Why did Jungkook choose not to appear on the broadcast? And what kind of message did he send after Taehyung's shaky clarification? Paris that night became not only the city of love, but it became a city of wounds. Wounds that may not necessarily heal in the near future. When the Weverse camera turns on and Taehyung's face appears with a forced, tired smile, ARMY knows something's not right. It's not just fatigue or schedule pressure, but there is something much deeper. Something that has been held for too long. Something that can no longer be hidden behind the camera lens or the glitter of the stage. I know you've heard all kinds of things about me, about the airport, about what's going on behind the scenes. Taehyung's voice sounded heavy. But that's just the beginning. Earlier, news of the duet rejection incident surfaced among fans after paparazzi footage showed tensions between HYBE staff and Taehyung and Jungkook's management representatives at a Paris airport. There is no official statement, but those little whispers spread like wildfire. And things get much more dire when Jungkook doesn't show up with Taehyung as previously promised in the promotion of their duet. Why was the long-awaited duet suddenly canceled? Is there internal pressure? Or is it precisely one of them who withdraws? Taehyung continued in a quieter voice, as if arranging the words carefully so as not to misstep. There was a misunderstanding. Not just between me and Jungkook, but also with the people who were supposed to keep us from all this. And sometimes we're too quiet, too much compromise until it all blows up in the wrong place, like that airport. The explosion of feelings in him was unbearable. There were restrained tears, but not one fell. Because Taehyung knows just one drop can trigger mass hysteria. But the real explosion came from the message Taehyung read. The message, according to him, was sent by Jungkook just hours before the live broadcast began. "Hyung, I know everything is so complicated. I know we used to sing that song together. But I also know now is not the time. I'm sorry if this decision hurts you or the army. I just need some time to figure out who I am now." And the world stopped breathing. Why does Jungkook feel the need to stay away? Is it true that the decision to cancel the duet came from him alone? Or was there pressure from above that made it seem like people were leaving the stage without explanation immediately? The hashtags #ProtectJungkook and #WeStandWith Taehyung became the #1 trending worldwide. The fans did not know which side to take, because this wound was like being hit from two sides, from the betrayal of the system and from the feeling of being betrayed by the person they love. But Taehyung didn't stop there. He added one sentence that made everything change direction. "We are still brothers, but sometimes even brothers need space to understand each other again." The sentence sounds very simple, but no one can deny the pain behind it. Does that mean their relationship is broken? Is this the beginning of the slow breakup that all ARMY has been dreading for so long? Some fans claim to have seen cold interactions between Taehyung and Jungkook over the past few months, particularly since their respective solo promotions. But no one expected that their duet plan, which was supposed to become a symbol of unity, would become a trigger for painful wounds. The live broadcast did not last long. Only 17 minutes. But enough to make the world talk about it for days. And until now, there has been no official clarification from the HYBE. Rumors of pressure from executive producers who disagreed with the duo's stage style were deemed too emotional and too honest. There were also whispers that the song that was supposed to be performed contained a personal message that was too risky politically and business. Is this true? Or is all this just a conspiracy made by fans who are not willing to see their idols fighting? But what hurts the most is the fact that we don't know for sure. Because behind it all, only two people know what's really going on, Taehyung and Jungkook. And now, only one of them spoke. The army was divided. Some defended Taehyung, calling him a victim of an overly cruel system, which required him to endure everything himself. Others felt Jungkook did not deserve the blame. As in his message, it was clear that he was struggling with identity and invisible pressures. Could they be coming back? Is it possible that the duet will still happen? Or is all this just the opening chapter of a bigger breakup? A fan comment below the Weverse broadcast wrote, Taehyung was hurt because he loved too much. Jungkook moves away for fear of losing himself. But we just want them to go back to the way they were. And anyone who reads that line knows full well that it's not just about music. It's about the wounds formed by love. About the struggle of two humans under a spotlight too blinding to see clearly. Finally, the big questions hang in the air, waiting for answers that may never come. That night in Paris was supposed to be one of the most anticipated moments in the history of the two BTS stars' solo travels. With all the promotions already in place, the teaser for the duet, which is touted to be V and Jungkook's most honest musical tribute yet, began to provoke massive hype. Even some South Korean media outlets have leaked lyrics that are said to be very personal, about loss, inner pain, and regret. But no one could have guessed that it would all end with just one short message. We canceled our joint performance. Without explanation, without pause, without warning. Even more suspicious was the fact that after the cancellation was announced, Jungkook immediately left the set and was not seen at the hotel where the HYBE artists were staying. Some die-hard fans saw dark black vehicles leaving behind the site shortly after the decision was announced. But no one could tell if it was Jungkook. No statement. No social media footprint. And in the midst of this information vacuum, almost stormy speculation was born. One of the most painful theories for the ARMY is that the cancellation decision came not from Taehyung, but from Jungkook himself. This theory stems from the content of the message Taehyung read, which mentioned that Jungkook felt not ready to sing that song. However, was the decision really purely Jungkook's? Or is it precisely the result of internal pressure? Why didn't the agency respond quickly to this mess? Some observers of the Korean entertainment industry began to speak off the record that HYBE allegedly cut off the duet plans for fear of an overly emotional public reaction. One source said that their tentatively titled duet song, The Last Promise, contains very personal lyrics, allegedly tells about their trauma in the past, and even touches on the issue of friendship that was almost destroyed because of popularity. If they actually perform the song on stage, it will be very difficult for the public to distinguish between lyrics and reality, said one entertainment analyst who did not want to be named. Does this mean that HYBE is afraid that the transparency of feelings will backfire? Isn't Taehyung and Jungkook's honesty to fans the reason why they are loved? And when the emotions had not subsided, a short message from Jungkook in the Weverse community at 3:27 a.m. local time finally appeared. I'm not going to run away. But sometimes, silence is the only way not to destroy everything. This message actually magnifies the puzzle. What will Jungkook protect? Himself? Taehyung? Army? Or is the truth too painful to tell in public? One of the most touching reactions came from a Brazilian army man who wrote on X, Twitter, they don't need a stage to show they care about each other. But we need them to hug each other again. The world is too cold if V and JK stay away from each other. But not all fans reacted with emotion. Some began to question HYBE's direction of communication. In various forums of the fanbase, new hashtags appeared. Hashtag HYBE explained this and hashtag let them sing, which demanded that the agency no longer interfere in the emotional affairs of members who, according to the fans, know better what they want to express. Taehyung himself appears to be still active in his Paris schedule. He attended a major fashion house event, greeting the media with a small smile and a wave of his hand that looked polite but far from enthusiastic. Many cameras captured his blank stare when interviewed, like someone who smiles not because they are happy but because they are forced to, and perhaps the most heartburn. 3 days after the Weverse Paris live broadcast that left the entire K-pop community speechless, HYBE finally issued an official statement. But oddly enough, this statement did not begin with an apology or clarification of the cancelled duet. Just a cold word. We acknowledge the sudden change in schedule and have evaluated the internal communication between the artist team and management. No name. No explanation. There was no confirmation whether they meant Jungkook's decision to withdraw from the duet. And that, it burns even greater anger ARMY. Many felt HYBE had once again ignored the emotional impact of their public figures' every move, as if fans were just an audience that could be given half-truths. But how is it possible to hold back tears when someone you supported for a decade wrote a message like, "I do not know who I am now"? The outrage culminated when one of the stage crew from Paris, who leaked the information anonymously, wrote on a private industry forum that Taehyung and Jungkook had met backstage on the night they were supposed to perform. But unlike a warm meeting between best friends, the two of them only stood staring at each other for almost a minute, then turn around. Without a word. The statement is like breaking the remnants of hope that still hangs in the sky, the hearts of the fans. If they didn't even speak directly, could there still be a chance to cure everything? However, the world has its own way of making wounds stop flowing. 4 days after the incident, a short 36-second video was secretly uploaded to Taehyung's official Weverse account. No title. No captions. Just a dark video with the sound of softly plucked guitar strings. The camera moves slowly and shows white shoes that a person is wearing. Then the sound of breathing. And then, a voice that made the whole world hold their breath. "I hope you still believe in me, Hyung." That's Jungkook's voice. The voice was so slow, so heavy, yet clear. There is no doubt that it was recorded in private. Some fans who analyzed the video said it was recorded in a small rehearsal room, due to the characteristic acoustic sounds and echoes of wall reflections. But more than that, Jungkook's words were like a door that slowly opened, once locked tightly by fear, misunderstanding, and the pressures of the world. A few hours after the video was uploaded, Taehyung finally edited out the caption. Just one sentence, but enough to make the world collapse. "I always believed." Comments flooded in. The ARMY is crying. Not only because they saw the possibility for improvement, but because they realized that while not everything could be healed right away, at least the wounds were starting to heal, and the moment that completely turned everything upside down happened 2 nights after. On the closed stage of the French perfume brand's rehearsal showcase, which was also broadcast on a limited basis for VIP guests, Jungkook appeared. No announcements. Without an introduction, he walked to the center of the stage, carrying a guitar. Everyone in the room was stunned. And more surprisingly, a few seconds later, Taehyung appeared from the other side of the stage, wearing a white shirt with slightly puffy eyes. Without saying a word, they sat side by side. Jungkook strummed the guitar. Taehyung closed his eyes. And then, they began to sing something, a new, unreleased song. The song has no title yet. But in 6 minutes and 22 seconds, they wrote a new chapter that will never be forgotten. Media cameras are not allowed. But snippets of the video leaked onto social media and within hours became the #1 global trending video. Even those who recorded it were not fans, but one of the hotel staff who could not restrain their emotions and shared it secretly. The ARMY was crying. Not because of separation, but because of the reunification born of the courage to tell the truth, to apologize, to believe, even if the world says otherwise, that even in the midst of scandals, storms, and a brightly lit stage, 2 best friends who trust each other can write the most beautiful song without having to sing it perfectly, because what made the ARMY cry that night wasn't because they were singing, but because they finally talked. After all those tears, clarifications, and moments of surprise that will never be forgotten, the world did not return to the way it was. Because once someone shows their most vulnerable side in front of millions of people, something changes. It always does. Taehyung and Jungkook not only create history from songs or achievements, but from the courage to show